Welcome back. This is King Rex coming at you with another video. This is another video on Euchre. I already have a defending against a loner Euchre video, but this one is going to be more just a specific type of defense. Like 3 years ago, I commented on someone's Euchre video, and in the last week, they finally commented back. And we had a debate going about how you defend against a loner when you have two offsuit aces. So I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a more in-depth analysis of this specific hand and show why I believe my way is the proper way. First off, we need to know what the situations where this video will apply. Because it's kind of a narrow situation. Basically, the second, third, or fourth seat has called trump and gone alone. The player with the lead has two offsuit aces and a third offsuit in his hand, a third offsuit suit. If the person in the third seat goes alone, you would be the person in the second seat, but the first seat wouldn't be playing, so you would have the lead. All these examples, spades are what's being called when going alone. I kind of give just an example hand here. You have to have two aces. That could be any two offsuit aces, so it could be, since spades are trump, it could be a diamond and a heart, a diamond and a club, or a heart and a club. And whatever you don't have an ace, and you have to have at least one card. Now I put the 10 here with question marks over where the 10 would be, but that's just simply denoting that it's a club. It's any club other than the ace of clubs. Then the last two cards doesn't matter what they are really. They can be anything. Granted, if it's the one of them's the jack of spades, you've got it stopped. So it really wouldn't apply in a protected left. Say if you had the jack of clubs and the nine of spades. But even then, this strategy might still be a good idea. But this is really just for stopping loners when you don't have an automatic stopper. What should you lead? Now, I'm going to kind of say, like, if you look at the bottom left hand where you have one offsuit ace, you should lead another suit in that case. Because that ace will be good if they have a club. If the lone caller has a club in his hand, he eventually has to lead it. So it'll be good on that trick. The reason why you don't lead your offsuit aces is because your partner could have the other two offsuit aces. They could have the bottom hand on the right, which is our example hand. So if you lead your ace of clubs, they'd play their club, but then on the fourth trick, they have to decide between their ace of diamonds and their ace of hearts. You don't want to have to make them make that decision. So if you lead a heart or a diamond, they're going to play their ace on the first trick, the corresponding ace, and then they have the other one for the last trick or when it's led. Basically, so if you have the two offsuit aces, you don't want to be squeezed in the same manner. So you lead one on the first trick, then you hold the other ace for later. Basically, you're covering two suits this way if you have two offsuit aces. You're covering two offsuits, and most of the time that a loner stopped, it stopped with someone playing a higher offsuit card than the card that the person calling alone had. Now, possible trump calls, the highest one is if the caller has five trump. It really doesn't apply here because you can't beat them with offsuit, but I thought I'd just show it and go over it. Top hand is unstoppable. They have the top five trump. You don't need the top five trump to have an unstoppable hand. If you have that king and queen could be replaced with the 10 and 9, it would still be unstoppable because you could play the ace on the first trick and both jacks would draw out any other trump. So even no matter where you're sitting, that would still be unstoppable. But I decided to put a hand below that where the caller doesn't have the left. So if someone has the protected left, they could stop that hand. The third seat's where the caller doesn't have the right. So if one of the opponents has the right, they will stop that hand. And you can also go without either jack. Ace, king, queen, 10, 9. So any of this combination of five trump, you can go alone. You probably should go alone no matter what with five trump. The contentious hand was the hand above. It's when the caller has four trump and an ace. He was arguing that this is 50% of all lone calls, or a hand like this, or they got three trump and the ace with the card behind it that's the same suit, or two offsuit aces. But to me, this is not like 50% of all lone calls. But even if you look at people calling with four trump cards, Like say they have four trump cards and their fifth card is an offsuit card, which is what you're hoping for. Well, that they at least have one offsuit. There's only a 7% chance of it being that ace. Not lat because you have two aces. Remember, there's actually a better chance of being your partner's hand or buried even in the kitty because he's got four of his cards already taken up. Um, his argument is if in this hand, if you lead your ace of diamonds on the first trick, it's going to get trumped. If you hold your ace of hearts for the last trick, or you can switch it around, you're not going to take a trick with either one of those. Your only chance of stopping this is if you lead the 10 of clubs, your partner is voiding clubs and has a trump card he can trump, then they will take the ace. His argument is that 50% of people will not go alone without that offsuit ace, unless they have all trump cards, which I disagree with completely. We'll get into that a little more in the next example. But the problem here is with his example is even if this is what the person has, your partner would have to be voiding clubs, and you would have to have a trump card. So this is only 7% of all loners where your opponent has four trump. If he has three trump, it's which is more common loners, that drops at 7% down. To have five trump, it drops at 7% down. If they're one of these people that will go alone on two trump, and they do exist, it drops that 7% down a little more. But so it's 7% with four trump. Well, what can your partner have in his hand? Well, as far as clubs and spades go, well, your partner could have a club and a spade. I mean, that is a possibility, right? If he has a club and a spade, he has to play his club. He could have a club without a spade. If he has that, he's going to play his club. It doesn't matter because a spade is no spade. He can't trump it. He could have a spade without a club, which is the situation he's talking about, or he could have no spades and no clubs because he's too suited the exact opposite way the dealer is, and that does happen. So if you look at that 7% chance, you're getting down to about a 2% chance of stopping that hand playing it his way, probably. Which, yeah, 2% is better than playing it my way and having like a 0% chance, unless you can somehow have a protected left or something. But the problem is that this isn't that common of a hand, and you can't base your entire loner defense strategy on one rare hand. It's only 7% of loners where there's four trump in the lone caller's hand. It's still only going to work about 25% of the time. His way, we're going to have like 2%, and you figure all the other ones. So this is probably really playing this way is probably going to stop 1% or less of loners for you. You figure there's four different types of hands your partner can have in respect to that offsuit and trump. And there's lots of other loners that can be called that aren't this. And granted, you can substitute out some of these trump cards. It don't have to be Jack, Jack, Ace, King, but that was his example. Now, I say, what if they have this hand? It's far more likely for the dealer not to have that third ace. It's 93% of the time. Most people, if they have this hand, are going alone. Even if they have a slightly lower trump holding, they're going alone. Some people will not go with a 9 or 10, but that's very rare. You're still far more likely to face either a king, a queen, or an offsuit jack than you are that last ace. Remember, there's three offsuit kings sitting out there. There's only one offsuit ace, so that's three times more likely. There's three offsuit queens, so that's three times more likely as well. And those add together, then you got your two offsuit jacks. That's twice as likely. Then you have the people that will go with one of those three tens or one of those three nines. Um, if you lead an ace on the first trick here, you cover two suits, like I said. So if I lead an ace of diamonds on the first trick, I have my ace of hearts for the last trick. If they have a queen of hearts, I take. If they have a club, we could still beat them because my partner could have them in clubs. Um, if you lead the club, like he says you should lead the club first, well, what if it gets trumped? They don't have a club. Now we're having to make that decision on the four trick for the heart and the diamond, right? His argument was if this was the hand, though, if you lead the club on the first hand and it gets trumped over, if you throw away the heart on the fourth trick, your partner will hold the king of hearts and stop him anyway, Mike. What if they don't have the King of Hearts? I mean, the King of Hearts could be in the lone caller's hand. It could be in his partner's hand. The lone caller's hand partner could be in the bottom of the kitty. Your partner might not have that King of Hearts. Partner could have been void in hearts. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So basically, you're overburdening your partner because if you throw the 10 of clubs on the first trick, you're depending on your partner to stop that club if it's a club. The dealer has clubs, your partner has to stop it. If you if then you throw away the hearts on the four trick, which you can throw away the diamonds, you're depending on your partner to stop that suit because you threw that one away. So you're depending on your partner to do the heavy lifting, basically. Whereas the way I play it is I'm doing two suits. He's got to cover the other one. And yeah, he doesn't know what I have in my hand, but if I'm leading a diamond on the first suit and it gets trumped, he knows he can throw all of his diamonds away. Right? So you're overburdening your partner. And the way I look at it, could you really live with throwing away the stopper? To me, it would be harder for me to live with the fact that I threw away the ace of hearts and the person had the queen of hearts in their hand rather than play the ace of hearts on the first trick. They didn't have a heart. I held my ace of diamonds till the last trick and they had the ace of clubs or some club in their hand. And they got the loner that way. I could live with that more than discarding the stopper because you pretty much had them and you let them get away. Because even if they have a club, you're not necessarily as your partner going to be able to stop that club. Probably about a 25% chance. Whereas if you have the diamond and heart stop, that's a 100% chance on those two. And your partner might be able to, but he might not. I think what he's doing is he's trying to finesse this hand too much, thinking he's letting his partner play. Well, you're letting your partner play by having them, but you're overburdening them. Now the next hand look as the card has three trump and they're two suited. Basically, they have the hand on the upper here where they have two offsuit. These offsuit could be any suit. They could be any card. Let's say this is what it is though, the ace and 10. Let's say you have the hand on the bottom left. You lead a club. They take it with the ace of clubs. Your partner has a club. They just took a trick without using one of their three trump cards. They're going to run off their jacks, take two tricks, run off their third trump card. And when that comes, what happens? You have a decision to make. Which ace do I throw away? Once again, when you throw away an ace, they have to play a trump on trick one. So I throw my ace of diamonds away. I'm not away, but on trick one, they play their ace of spades on it to take that trick. Then they play their two jacks. What if your partner has three trump? That's just stopped the loner right there by playing it this way. Or if they have a protected left or a right, will stop it too. So your partner can still stop this hand, even if you lead the diamond and the heart when your opponent has the ace and 10 of, even if they have the ace and king, ace and 10, whatever they have in clubs, assuming they don't have jack, jack, ace. I just took that as a for instance. Those spades can change around too. So your partner could have two clubs as well. What if your partner, if you throw the ace of diamonds, and what if they don't have any hearts or their hearts aren't good? So they throw the ace of diamonds, they have to trump. Well, they throw two cards. Your partner's going to throw away first thing out of your partner's hand is going to be their trump cards. Then it's going to be their diamonds. So by the time we get to trick four, they may still have two clubs left because maybe they only had clubs, spades, and hearts, or spades and diamonds. The diamonds aren't any good because you used one. Spades got pulled out, so their two clubs are left. Some person throws the ace. They maybe have these king and queen down here. They throw the king or the queen, doesn't matter which. Then they throw the 10 out there. Maybe they have, and the partner has the last one. So even with this hand, your partner can still stop it. But if those two offsuit are diamonds or hearts, two suited, you've got the stopper if you play it right. Granted, you're probably going to stop it anyway, but you still got their stopper. You know what I'm saying? So even with the clubs sitting there, you got your stopper. The card has three trump and they're three suited. Now this is the hand, and you have Either one of these hands on the bottom here, don't matter which one. Let's say you have the hand on the bottom left. If you lead the ace of diamonds out, well, he trumps your ace of diamonds. Throws his two jacks, it takes out your trump card on your first jack. Well, the second jack he throws, you know what I mean. You're pulling your card up, but you still have your ace of hearts to hold to the end, right? Let's say you lead that king of clubs out, though. He plays the ace of clubs on it. Your partner had a club, he has to play it. Now he's going to throw jack, jack, ace. Well, he throws the first jack. He's going to take your 10 of spades. But when he throws a second jack, what do you play? Your queen of clubs is the boss club. He could have had another club as his last card. Your ace of hearts and ace of diamonds. You have to pick between these three cards. You basically squeeze your partner completely out of the hand at this point. The only way they can help you is if they just happen to be holding a king that you throw an ace away on. If you throw the ace of diamonds, they know diamonds aren't good anymore. And if you're going to hold your king and your ace to the end. So you might have to be kind of thinking, well, what do I play here? But if you throw an ace of diamonds, you have to trump it. They throw a trump card. You put your 10 on it. Throw another trump card. You're probably going to throw your queen away at that point. But what if their club isn't the ace? What if their club is the queen? You had the king and 10 of clubs, so you threw away the queen. You know what I'm saying? You can still beat them. Plus, the thing is, since they're having to play a trump card to take your ace away, they only have two left. Your partner could have three trump if they could. It's possible. Another thing I want to say is that another hand it's possible is three trump with two offsuit aces. Basically, but the problem is with this hand they can't have that because you have two offsuit aces, so it doesn't apply here on how to play it. Now the one is where the caller has two trump. If the caller has the jack, jack, and then ace, king, queen of hearts, if you lead an ace, they have to trump it. So if you lead the ace of clubs, they have to take it with one of the two jacks. That leaves them one trump card. They'll throw that trump down, which will take out one round of trump. But if either you or your partner have two trump, you've just stopped them, right? And now, so they basically, but if you lead, say, the heart, and they take it with their ace of hearts, and your partner had one, then they throw the jack of spades, then they throw the jack of clubs. If you and your partner each have two trump, now you don't have any trump left. Now them hearts are good. That king of hearts is a winner. That queen of hearts is a winner. So even in this situation, you're better off throwing your aces. So to me, unless it's the very rare situation where the person has four trump and the fourth, and the fifth, and the third ace, you're better off playing the ace on trick one, ace on trick five, or whatever it's led, because you're covering two suits. You're also, if they don't have that suit, you're forcing a trump card out of them. If you can deplete their trump without depleting your partner's trump, they might have enough trump in their hand to take a trick on trump because you depleted trump. So not only are you covering two suits, you're not overburdening your partner, you're depleting trump from your opponent. So to me, this is just the better way it works. To lead your first, if you have two offsuit aces, lead one, hold one. That's the way to do it. If you lead something else, like here, if you lead the 10 of hearts, you're playing right into their hand, unless your partner can trump it. Your partner might have the jack or the 9 in their hand. That's possible. Your partner might be totally void in trump. Who knows? It's possible. So in this situation, leading the aces, you're forcing trump out of their hand. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and have a great day.